your life has been consumed by fear-mongering and misinformation, and it's very upsetting to see. Today, we're going to largely step away from workouts. I'm going to absolutely roast some awful TikToks because, honestly, the amount of shocking diet advice that's coming from professionals that are far more qualified than I am is horrendously concerning, but also highlights that just because you have a qualification or you may be a doctor doesn't mean you know what's right, or doesn't mean you'll do what's right. So I'm going to absolutely rip apart some horrendous diet myths and misconceptions, and hopefully you don't believe any of them, but if you do, you won't after this. Before we do so, link down below, you know what I'm going to say. TFNL clothing, absolutely cracking, humdinger, best thing you'll ever see in the world. It's not, but let's pretend it is. And if at any point throughout this entire video you actually agree with anything I'm saying, I would very much appreciate it if you did subscribe to the channel, because quite frankly, more subscribers means more people see my stuff. More people see my stuff means that hopefully one day I afford 1,000 dogs, because I would love to have a sanctuary of just loads of dogs. So that's what we're working towards. Some doctor man is going to tell me 3 foods to avoid to lose belly fat, and I'm going to disagree with it, no doubt.
3 foods to avoid if you want to lose belly fat fast. The first is fruit.
Do not avoid things purely for the sake of losing belly fat. Someone's going to come to me in the comment section saying, oh, but he's got a point. No, he doesn't. Behave yourself. If you want to lose belly fat, I'll tell you a secret how to do it, and it's going to be crazy simple. Eat less, move more. You cannot target where you are losing fat. I actually covered this in the recent video. Spot reduction of fat does not happen, and altering what foods you consume will not dictate where you're losing fat from. Nothing wrong with fruit. Someone's going to say, oh, high fructose, sugars, carbs. What's the problem there? And someone's going to present a problem in the comment section, and anti-carb warrior is going to come for me again, and guess what? It's not going to be true. You're striking fear into the eyes of people when they've got nothing to be afraid of. Food is not the enemy. Food, in many cases, may be your friend. And you shouldn't demonize foods, because all that's going to do is encourage unhealthy eating patterns, potentially even trigger or contribute to eating disorders, which are horrendously horrible to overcome. I've worked with many people with eating disorders. I've done a lot of research into eating disorders. My master's degree was psychology. An eating disorder is more than just a problem with food and body. An eating disorder can stem into many things: anxiety, depression, and some much worse things than that. So please do not encourage things that many people unfortunately will not heal from. That's irresponsible, and nobody deserves to feel that way about food, that way about their body, or just that way whatsoever.
Next is bread. Bread is a highly processed carbohydrate that also causes a rise in blood.
No, bread is not going to make you fat. No, bread is not going to give you diabetes, any of that stuff. It's moderation within reason. Are you eating more calories than you need to and putting yourself in a surplus? Yes, guess what? Probably going to gain some fat. I eat bread on a regular basis. I eat fruit on a regular basis. Bananas, high sugar fruits like that. And you know what? We're pretty good. My blood markers, pretty good. Am I diabetic considering I eat 800 grams of carbs a day and probably about 5,000 calories? No, I'm doing all right. My blood sugar's actually got my... I'm pretty bang on the middle, so don't worry about that.
And insulin is the enemy.
Stop it. His go-to thing here is just pushing that insulin's the enemy and sugar's going to kill you. No, it's not. Insulin is not the enemy. Someone always jumps to the whole hormone argument. Honestly, please don't go there. It's not what you think it is. If insulin was actually the enemy, funnily enough, insulin is the most anabolic hormone the body produces. Bodybuilders who are regularly trying to pack on mass amounts of muscle, whilst also in turn minimize fat gain during that period, will regularly use insulin as an enhancement. They will take a certain IU measurement of insulin per how many carbs they consume that day to literally help nutrient uptake and building muscle. Stop demonizing things that don't need to be demonized. For 99.9% of people, it really comes down to calories in versus calories out. Move more, eat less. If you're in a deficit, you're going to lose fat. If you lose enough fat, it'll come off the belly too eventually. Oh, we've got another doctor. Hello, Barbara. What are you going to tell me about? I already know.
Wanted to lose weight quickly, safely, drastically. What would they severely eliminate? The carbs. Someone wanted to conquer cancer. What would they quite drastically drop? The carbs.
Carbs are heavily demonizing the industry, and it just blows my mind. At the end of the day, especially when looking at weight loss, calories in versus calories out, as I've stated, the easiest macronutrient to decrease usually is carbohydrates, because of protein, fats, and carbs. Carbs are the only macronutrient that is not deemed to be an essential macronutrient that is necessary for a functioning body. Protein and fats are. Should you cut carbs? absolute knots. But what I'm saying is, if your protein is at a point where it's at a good level, where you wouldn't go any lower than that, you're stable there. Your fat is at, let's say, 50 grams, like a healthy number, and you need to reduce your calories from somewhere to enter a deficit. The only place you can reduce is going to be carbs. So they're the easiest one to play with. Doesn't mean they're the enemy, doesn't mean they should be demonized. They're just the one that is quite easy to manipulate when helping to get into a deficit. Wording it like this makes them sound like they're going to kill you, makes them sound like the devil, and someone will make a video on this telling me I'm wrong and that I am a carb warrior that's going to kill all my followers. Your life has been consumed by fear-mongering and misinformation, and it's very upsetting to see. But quite frankly, do not put that onto the people that trust me, and do not put that onto the people who are so kind enough to subscribe to my channel. If I'm ever telling you something, it's something I genuinely deem to be true. It's not stemming from fear-mongering, misinformation, or financial manipulation through a company basically trying to make me tell you things that aren't true so they give me loads of money, which has been offered to me before, and I've said no. This is a big one, and it's probably going to be relevant to the title of the video. Liv Schmidt. It's actually a workout, so we're going to gander at that first. Long and lean arm ab workout to look like Bella, who's, I believe, a supermodel maybe. 1 minute plank walkouts. Interesting. It's a fair move. If you want to do it, you can. It's not something I would love personally, but it's okay. Shoulder taps. Again, this is very much the kind of stuff they would make me teach people in boot camp classes when I worked at a gym. That range of motion is not okay. If you're going to do a bench dip, I would actually probably implement using a bench. It's kind of in the name there. It will help with range of motion, thus actually help with the effectiveness of movement as well. Plank, a lot of plank variations, which is going to be quite taxing in the old core situation, but quite frankly, no workout you do will make you look like that supermodel, because funnily enough, that supermodel is the only person in the world who looks like her, and you can train however hard you want to, however you want to, eat as little as you want to, whatever it may be. Genetics have contributed to where she is right now, alongside her diet protocol and her training. I respect it if that's what you want to do, but you are not her, and you will never be her. You can try all you want to be this person, but what I'd actually riddle as potentially a better use of your energy. Put that energy that you were going to put into wanting to be somebody else, into just wanting to be you, into being happier with who you are as a person, being happier with your body, happier with what you've achieved, happier with the work you've put in to get to where you are right now. Although you may not be where you want to be, I'm sure you're probably a lot further along than you were last year. And you know what? If you're not, that's also okay. You've got many years ahead of you to try. So the internet and the social media world is very much about do what this person does, look like this person, be this person. How about just do you, be a better you, whatever that may look like to you. If you start chasing the desires of being somebody else, it implies that you're not enough. And I can assure you, although I may not know you personally, I'm pretty confident, and I dare you to challenge me here, that you're certainly more than enough. And chasing the desire of looking like somebody else will not make you feel better. It will probably just make you feel worse. And you don't deserve to feel worse. Quite frankly, I think you deserve to feel better. As always, link down below, you know we've got a few things. You've got the link to work with myself on a one-to-one coaching basis where I can help coach you towards your goals online, wherever you may be in the world. You've got the link to the TFNL team training, which for less than $1 a day, you can work out at home or at the gym following a bloody sick program I've created for you and the team. You've got the link to the TFNL clothing. You've even got the link to the TFNL workout guides, which tell you what to do, explain why you're doing it, and also show you how to do it too, which is pretty cool. And again, they're always linked down below in the description if any of those things tickle your pickle. This is why I believe Liv actually got banned off TikTok for a while. She's actually made a new account, and I can't find any of her saucy stuff, but this is apparently one of the things that may have contributed to her getting banned. It was labelled as something along the lines of giving dangerous diet advice to her followers.
I've lost 5 pounds in 1 week doing this diet. I'm a certified health and wellness and life coach. My dad's a gastroenterologist, and I've gone to a nutritionist most of my life. But no one ever talks about leptin.
Just because you're certified doesn't mean much to me anymore. Honestly, I know so many people who are certified. I've spoken about a couple of doctors on here today, actually, and it does not suddenly give what they're preaching or promoting credibility. Honestly, I've personally had conversations with my doctors, my general practitioners, who have told me not to consume too much protein because it's bad for my kidneys, to which I've then debated back and said, is there any modern research actually supporting that? To which they said no, to which I've then presented research that actively supports my claim that protein is not bad for your kidneys, provided you're a healthy individual with no family history. They turned around and said, I'm going to be honest with you, we kind of learn things in med school and then don't really learn beyond there, so we just speak about what we were taught. They've read the papers, they agree with them and said, I'm going to remember this going forward, thanks for letting me know. Just because you're qualified doesn't suddenly give you this shield of protection from what you're saying and just mass amounts of credibility. Lectin is basically a trend she's jumping on because she thinks this is going to be a big thing that's contributed to her weight loss, because I know she did lose a bunch of weight. I'll tell you how she lost weight, and this is not opinion or debate or whatever it may be. This is actually just fact really is she probably moved a bit more, or she probably ate a bit less, and she maybe did some working out too. She maybe did one of those things, or maybe all three of those things, or maybe even just two. Whatever she did to lose weight was get into a calorie deficit through either less food or more activity, and after a while she would have lost some weight. Lectin was not the magic reason behind that. It was probably calories in versus calories out, and although that may not align with what many people say online because they either don't know better or they're getting paid to promote some silly stuff, it's the truth. And although much of what I'm presenting throughout this video may be deemed to be controversial, may not align with your beliefs, I'm sure I'm going to get many comments saying about insulin's the devil, fruit's the devil, whatever it may be. In reality, sugar's not the devil, carbs not the devil, fat loss and fat gain does not need to be overcomplicated. Whether you consume it with protein, fats, carbs, your choice, but it will ultimately fall down to calories in versus calories out. And if you want to debate that and say carbs will make you fat, then I challenge you to eat 10,000 calories every single day of nothing but fats and protein and tell me what happens to your body fat levels after a while. Or you say calorie deficit doesn't work, I challenge you not to eat a single calorie. Do not eat a single calorie for a week. Just consume water, nothing else. Tell me if you lose weight. It may not be healthy for everybody to track their calories or to consider the caloric intake and expenditure. Fully respect that, fully understand that. At the end of the day, if it's not healthy for you and it's not sustainable, do not do it. You're in no rush, and quite frankly, your mental health has to be a huge priority. Do not neglect or sacrifice your mental health trying to follow the advice of people online that may not have your best interests at heart because you're trying to chase wanting to be somebody that you're not. You are good enough as you are. You don't need to change that if you don't want to, but if you do want to, ask yourself why. Maybe it's not about changing who you are, but maybe just improving who you are. Not because you're not good enough already, but it doesn't mean good can't become better. But like with all my videos, that is just simply my opinion, and I'd appreciate your opinion in the comment section below. Thank you for tolerating me. Thank you for tolerating my waffle about many things, and thank you for tolerating the video.